Okay. Getting the display. One second. Yeah. So in the last session, we created private ledger. In today's session, we'll see the rest of tasks. Okay. We'll create the legal entity. You know the process, right? How to create legal entity? First, go to primer ledger. Okay, you have to go to the primer ledger page. From there, you can create. I mean, the same page, like where you can create primer ledger. Within the same page, you can see another tab called as legal entity. Okay, from there we can create and we can follow the remaining process. So navigation is setup, financials, accounting setup manager, accounting setup. Double click. So, 1 second. It's not opening that page. What is this? Setup financials, accounting setup manager, accounting setups. Should open. Okay, I'll just re-log in and we'll see. Okay. So navigation is setup financials, accounting setup manager, accounting setups. Here, yeah, we have a tab called as legal entities. From here you can create the legal entity. Okay, if not from here, directly from here also you can create the legal entity. If you click on create accounting setup, here we have a tab to create the legal entity, right? From here you can create. Otherwise, anyway, we have separate tab called as legal entity. Let's navigate through that form. Okay, click on legal entities. Now here click on create legal entity. Okay, click on create legal entity tab. So here you can give country name. You are creating legal entity for which country? That country name. So India, tab out, it will fetch the value and the legal entity name. So call free India legal entity. Organization name. So call free India private limited. Some name you can provide. Legal entity identifier. This is nothing but a registration number. Okay. So I'll just number I'll be providing here. Then and PAN number. So any number you can give. There is no rule when you are defining if it is India that should be in 10 digits or some fixed. You can enter any number. Okay. And here we have to provide the address. Already we know that we already have seen how to create the address. Now for now what we'll do is we'll select some existing address. This function is not working. Sorry. City, will try with the city. Okay. Okay, we'll try with this postal address. Yeah, we'll try with the postal address. Yeah. Okay, just select this existing address, and here optionally you can provide this information. Just I'm giving currencies INR. Okay, then say apply. Just click on apply. Okay, this is since it's a test on the practice environment. If you have some issue when you say apply, then just simply you can correct this information. Okay, you can correct this information like a legal entity identifier or PAN number. If required, you can change the legal address. Then it will work. Say apply. Okay, you can see there is some just issue it is displaying. I'll change some information. Or else better I'll change the location. But when you're working, you don't face this issue since this is a test environment. Okay, you'll just come across all this. What name is such? Postal code, right? Or city? Postal code. I'll select different one. Okay. Just click on apply. Okay, what happened to this time? Say apply. Okay, we'll just cancel and we will redo this. Okay, the form is not functioning. Okay, so create legal entity. Country as India. You can select address. Yeah. So postal code. Just E5. So currency I'm giving as INR. Say apply. Created. Okay. Sometimes this web pages, okay, it will throw some error messages and all. You don't need to worry about it. Just refresh and try again. It will work. That we create a legal entity. What is the next step? We have to assign legal entity to primary ledger. How to do that? Go to accounting setups tab. Here find your primary ledger. Our primary ledger name is call free. Then click on go. Click on update. Here we have to add the legal entity, right? So first we'll click on add legal entity. Again click on add legal entity. Now we have to search for legal entity. One legal entity we can assign to only one primary ledger. Okay, so just click on go. You don't find many legal entities. If somebody created those, they will be definitely assigned into their primary ledger. That is the reason even if you don't give the name, if you click on search, you will be finding only your legal entity. Otherwise you may find some other legal entities also which are available for assignment. Okay, so select here, then say select and click on apply. In this stage you can remove the legal entity, right? Once you complete the primary ledger definition, we cannot remove that, we discussed already. Okay, click on apply. So now balance and segment values we have to assign to legal entity, right? The balance and segment values we have to assign to legal entity. To assign balance and segment values to legal entity, what we have to do? Click on this update and say add balance and segment value and click on go. What are the balance and segment values we have in our primary ledger? All will get displayed here. You can select all. So this is a dummy value also we created for just if at all required to use, but you can select that also, not an issue. Then say select, say apply. But when you are a company point of view, dummy value generally not required, but just we mentioned for understanding, like dummy values also we can use. So just for to pass some dummy adjustment entries or some workaround related transaction process. Okay. So now finally we have to say complete. Click on complete, then say yes. You can confirm the completion and return to accounting setup. Now you can see the ledger status as completed. Done. So we created legal entity. Now completed. Now we have to assign the primary ledger to all responsibilities using GL ledger name. Don't call it a general ledger name. Okay, profile option point of you have to call with the same name, that is a fixed name. Okay, GL ledger name profile option. Okay, now we'll go and assign all the primary ledger to all the responsibilities using GL ledger name profile option. Okay, to do the task we have to switch to responsibility. How to just which responsibility, that is important. Sysadmin, that's what you have to say. Okay, we have to switch to sysadmin responsibility. Click on the switch responsibility icon, then here select system administrator, say okay. What is the navigation to assign? Profile system. Okay, profile system, and double click. You want to assign to which responsibility? All. You have to do it for one by one. So say call free, select first one, and primary profile option name is GL ledger. Since we know this name, we are writing directly. Otherwise, you can go to LOV and you can search find. Okay, and click on find. So you can select your primary ledger name. Call free. Save it. Shift page up. Okay, change. Second one is account receivable. Same profile option. Click on find. Then here you can select your primary ledger. Shift page up. Okay, here call free. Cash management. Shift page up. Fixed assets. General ledger. Save. Shift page up. Call free. Common resources. It's all about simple. Which responsibility is required? Ledger access. We are assigned. Which responsibilities need access to employees? For those all responsibilities we assign business group. Business group we assign, right? Business group we assign to all the responsibilities so that those responsibilities can have access to employees who are available in the business group. Now, which responsibilities require access to primary ledger? To all the responsibilities we are assigning primary ledger. Okay, so that's what we are doing. Yes. Okay. Generally, like all required, right? Every responsibility require primary ledger for respective transaction process. Okay, done. As for multi-year configuration, what is the next step? You have to create operating unit. Okay, we'll go and create operating unit. Say task name is create operating unit. Okay, create operating unit. Switch to HRMS. Okay, switch to HRMS responsibility. Navigation is same navigation to create the business group. Whatever the navigation we use, the same navigation. Okay, for business group creation or operating unit creation or inventory organization creation, navigation and the function will be same. From same form will be creating, but classification will be selecting whatever we are creating accordingly. Okay, so here the navigation is tell me work structure, location, what location, what we are planning, what
organization description,
work structure, organizations description. Okay, with this navigation you can create the business group or operating unit or inventory organization. Now we are going to create operating unit. Okay, to create the operating unit, navigation is work structures, organization description. Then click on new. So when you are working in real time, the client will be providing the exact naming convention. Okay, exact naming convention for their respective branch name or entity name, what exactly name they will be providing. Now for our simple understanding, what I'll do is the operating unit I'll create location based. I'll be giving just call free Hyderabad operating unit. I'll give the naming convention, but the real time when you are working, the operating unit name will be with the respective company name or else some branch name. They will be having their internal naming convention, right? That name they'll be giving, that anyway entire information the client will be providing to us. They'll be giving the list of operating units, what they need, what they have in the business, that they'll be providing. Okay, those can be entities or branches. Okay, those all names they'll be providing. With that names only will create operating unit. For now, just to simplify this understanding, I'll give the name as toll free Hyderabad operating unit. Here type is not mandatory, just for simple identification purpose. If you have something like operating unit, you can select here. You have type called as operating unit, you can select it. But because of this type, system is not going to understand this as a operating unit. For system understanding, you should give the organization classification that already we discussed, right? So done. So here you can specify the location. You can specify the location for this. Okay. Yeah. 1 second. So location is Hyderabad we have, and up to here you have to save. Without saving, system won't allow you to select the classification, right? So if you place the cursor, it will throw some message. So you must save, right? Save it. Now select organization classification as what we are creating, the same operating unit we are creating. Okay, select organization classification as operating unit. Just enable the checkbox. Save it. Select organization classification and enable. Save it. Now we know multi-org structure and all, right? Where multi-org operating unit will be standing as per multi-org, which position, where? Last second means it will be under legal entity. Legal entity will be under primary ledger. Now what we have to do is, this operating unit is under which primary ledger? Again, that primary ledger, under that primary ledger, which legal entity we have, or else try to understand in this way. This operating unit is under which legal entity? That legal entity is under which primary ledger? That specification we have to give here. That's how system will be understanding as this is falling under which legal entity and which operating unit. Okay, that's what system will be understanding. For that, what we have to do is click on others tab. Okay, now we have to specify this OU is under which LE and primary ledger. We have to specify with the setup. So to specify that, it is under what? Click on others tab. Click on others tab. Here we have an option called as operating unit information. Have a operating unit information. Select it. Select and say OK. Okay, select and say OK. And just place the cursor in operating unit information field. It will pop up another window to specify this is under which LE and primary ledger. Just place cursor here. What we are doing, simple. First we are selecting the organization classification as operating unit, then enable the checkbox and save it. After that, click on others tab, then select operating unit information, then say OK. Place cursor in this field, and here you can see the one more pop-up window where you can specify this is under what. So this operating unit is going to be under which primary ledger? All free. Okay. So under which legal entity? This operating entity is under which legal entity? That is all free legal entity. That's all. So if you want to give some short name for your legal operating unit, you can write here short code and all. But anyway, not required. Okay, that would be enough. Say OK. Okay. Say OK and click on OK and say save. Yes. Then we created operating unit also. So what is the process to create operating unit? We are given the name and we are selecting location. We have to provide organization classification. From others tab, we have to specify this is under which primary ledger and legal entity. That's all. Now what is the next step? Please follow the sequence whatever we discussed. That is the reason I discussed before doing. We have to assign operating unit to all response. That's what we are going to do. Reality, we have to assign operating unit to which modules? Real, actual, as a mandatory, as a compulsory. Operating units we have to assign to which applications? No, don't say like that. In that way, tell me in the other way. No. Any answer? For operating unit, we have to assign to all response we are discussing. Yes, we can assign. That's what we planned. But reality, we don't need to assign to all. We have to assign to which responsibilities?
Let us map element which are mapped to operating unit.
Where? Where map to operating unit? The point is important. As per multi-org, which applications are mapped at OU level to those modules only. That's what we have to understand, right? So that means simple point is OU specific. We have to assign the operating unit to OU specific applications only as per multi-org. As per multi-org we discussed, right? So there are certain applications which will be standing at OU level. There are few applications which will be starting at BZ level, LE level, primary ledger level, and inventory organization level, right? Different levels in this hierarchy, different levels, different applications will be mapped. Now we created operating unit means, so operating unit specific applications what we have, for those applications only we have to assign. But now just for our practice and all, let's assign this to all, there won't be any issue. But anyway, you know exactly this has to be assigned to which applications, primarily to which applications? AP, AR, OM and PO. GL you don't need to assign. GL is not going to work based on OU. It will be working specific to primary ledgers. Okay. When you talk about legal entity also cash management. Okay, cash management level, cash management application will be working legal entity level. So that we know it. HRMS, sorry, business group, HRMS. So HRMS application will be standing at BZ. For that you don't need to assign operating. That is the reason for this 4 only. Basically as of now, like there are many other applications, but those are not required to discuss in our classes. So for all those applications plus these 4 applications we have to assign. Okay, now just to simplify this process, let's go and assign to all responsibilities. There won't be an issue if you assign. Okay, it's a simple job. Let's do it. So next task is this, we completed already, right? Now assign operating unit to all responsibilities. Switch to sysadmin responsibility. Type S, it will just switch. Now to assign navigation is profile system. Responsible name is all right. We are going to do for all. I'll select one by one. Tables. Profile option name is we didn't discuss here. Okay, MO operating unit. MO stands for multi-org. See here we discussed, right? HR means human resources, HR means human resource, MO means multi-org. And again here also to assign that we will be using the profile option called as, I'll be just mentioning here. The profile option name is not MO security profile, MO operating unit. By using MO operating unit profile option, we can assign operating unit to responsibilities. Yeah. Okay. Assign operating unit to all responsibilities by using MO operating unit profile option. So select responsibility, profile option name is MO operating unit. Okay, just click, sorry, here there should be space and all. I think I didn't provide that. So MO colon space operating. This is the format. That's how they written as a predefined value. Predefined value for predefined profile option name. Okay, MO colon space operating. This is how you have to type and click on find. Here you have to select your operating unit. Okay, so that is call free Hyderabad. Why when you type call free here, it is displaying only operating unit. Reason, we have with the call free many, right? See here what I'm doing here is I'm typing call free. Okay, I'll tab out. It is fetching only operating unit, but with the call free name we have a primary ledger, we have a legal entity, we have a operating unit, right? Everything many we have. Why it is displaying only operating unit? Because of profile option. The profile option will filter, okay, which value need to be displayed. Profile option related to operating unit. That is the reason the operating unit related values only will get displayed here. Okay, that's how the filtration takes place. Okay, that's what we have to understand. Okay, then save it. The same repeat for all other responsibilities. Just call free receivables. Let's save. Shift page up. Cash management, reality not required. But assign it, no problem. Fixed assets. General ledger. Common resources. No, already done. Sorry. So change. HRMS we done, no? No? Completed? Okay. Just purchasing is left. Yes, done. Okay, we completed up to here, right? Now what is the next step? We have to create item master inventory organization. Okay, so create item master inventory organization. Create item master inventory organization. So that also we can create from HRMS only. Any organization we can create from HRMS. Switch to HRMS responsibility. Here you can take the navigation. Navigation is same navigation. Whatever the navigation we followed for BZ and OU, same navigation. Work structures, organization, description. Okay, navigation is work structures, organization, description. Double click, click on new. So here you can give the name as a call free item master inventory. Anyway, type is not mandatory. Okay, type is not mandatory. So location is Hyderabad. Where? Hyderabad, in Hyderabad. Item master. Let me repeat. We discussed. That's what I am just requesting. Please read and remember and answer accordingly. We discussed, right? There won't be any location for item, but we only telling there is a Hyderabad location. No location. Save it. So give organization classification as inventory organization. Okay, select organization classification as inventory organization, then enable the same classification and save it. Okay, save it. This will be under which operating unit? This will be under which operating unit? Call free Hyderabad operating. It won't be under that because it's not real one. It won't be under any operating unit. It's a physical. It's a real inventory means yes, definitely it will be supporting specific operating unit. This is a virtual one. It won't be under operating, but in the system point of view, what we have to do is at least you have to specify this is belongs to which primary ledger and which legal entity. This specification we have to give so that system will be understanding, okay, this item master inventory we are using in which multi-org structure. If you specify this is under, because and this will be normally inventory will be under operating it will be under legal entity will be under primary ledger. Since this is not real inventory, we no need to specify this is under which operating, but at least you have to specify this is under which legal entity and primary ledger, so that system will logically it will understand this is belongs to which business group, okay, which is multi-org structure, so that within that environment you can create the items and you will be able to assign to actual inventory. So we discussed the point, right? With item master will create the items, the same items we can assign to actual inventories, the real inventories. That's what we discussed already. Okay, so now click on others tab. Click on others. Click on others. See internal. See what happens is this is the classification. The meaning is, say I'm going to create the say company, mostly they'll be taking the contract employees, the people they'll be working in their company and all. Those all are not internal employees. Those all are external. In that case, when they are creating the normally HRMS related, so if they are creating the organization where they maintain the employees, whether those within that organization, what are the employees will create, those are internal employees or external. Many companies will take outsourcing base, right? So in that case, if they want to maintain those people separately as a separate organization, they can create organization as a type as external. Within that, they'll maintain all the employees who are not from directly from their company, who are from other organizations. If they want to manage separately in the system, that internal or external they can use. If they want to maintain some, now generally we are creating everything internal. Within the internal organization only, we may create the external employees also, where we can classify them as a contract employees. Or else if you want to maintain separately, here you can give the classification as external. Okay, there are many other reasons also why we'll be using in the other cases, but generally to classify internal or external, that's all. Fine. So click on others, select option called as accounting information. Select accounting information. Okay, select accounting information and say okay. Place cursor in this field. Now this is belongs to which primary ledger? Select all three. So since we assigned only one legal entity is assigned to that primary ledger, the legal entity is getting defaulted. This is under which operating unit? We should not give it. That's what we discussed. Because in case of actual inventory, yes, we have to give. But in this case, you should not select any operating unit. Just say okay. Okay, select primary ledger. If you have multiple legal entities, definitely it won't default. You have to select from LOV, because for our primary ledger we assigned only one legal, that is getting defaulted. Okay, just say okay. Again click on okay. Say save. Yes. Now legal and this inventory we have to assign to legal entity. We have inventory item master inventory we have to assign to. You don't need to answer anything. We didn't discuss anything. Nothing is there. You don't need to assign to anything. So this will be under generally operating unit, but it's not real. That is the reason we are not going to specify. Okay, there is no separate task where we will be assigning this to something else. Nothing. Okay, that's all. We have to create an over. So this also we created. Now what we have to run the replicate seed data program. What is the use of this program? When you create new multi-org, we have to, Oracle recommends to run this program so that to start using that multi-org with the setups or process some seeded data, so very fundamental basic data system automatically will apply. It will copy to the new multi-org so that will be ready. If you don't run it, you can start using the multi-org, but if not in one place, other place you can get some issues. Okay, the chance is there. That is the reason we have to submit this. Okay, replicate seed data program. Okay, it's nothing but we are copying. Seed data means fundamental data. Seeded data we are replicating means copying to new multi-org. To which multi-org we have to specify when you are running the program as a parameter. There basically will be giving the OU name, operating unit name will be giving. Then that operating unit is belongs to which multi-org system will understand, and automatically for the entire multi-org it will be copying the seeded data. We'll see how to do this. To run this program, we have to go to sysadmin. This program will be available from sysadmin responsibility. If I say this program is available from sysadmin responsibility, what is the meaning of it? Anyone? What I'm saying, this program, replicate seed data program, is available from sysadmin responsibility. I said, what is the meaning of it? No. Who has sysadmin? Yes, that is also correct, but that is not the point. What is the meaning of it? We've gone through that. You should be ready with that. If I say this program is available from system administrator responsibility, what is the exact meaning? What is the background? Anyone? These points are important. You have to think in that way. That's very important. It's not like what slides are running, whether I'm taking note or not. Yes, it works off only, but not completely. What is the meaning of it? No? Anyone? Just see, simple. We discussed. That is the reason any question which I'm asking from based on our discussions only. I never ask any new questions. If I say this replicate seed data program is available only in the system administrator responsibility. If I say this, what is the meaning of it? Sorry? I already? Anyone? You have to catch that point. That's very important. Means?
Already available is seeded
data. Any other guess? Why you are thinking seeded data? I am asking just program. This is one of the program. There is some background whatever we discussed. Sorry? No. No. Any answer? We are spending. Sorry. Programs can run only. This is a completely wrong statement because we are violating many good discussions. Sorry?
It is a first and main program.
Simple. That program is part of Oracle, not SAP. The program is part of system administrator response. When you have system, for everything we have response, right? Every responsibility will have a request group, right? That means the program is part of sysadmin responsibility related request group. If I say that is available only from payables, what you have to understand? Okay, this program is payables. This is there within the payables response related request group. You have to understand that is there in the payables request group, right? Payables request group will assign to payables responsibility, then that will be available from payables. Now if I say replicate seed data program is available from sysadmin, what we have to understand? That program is available sysadmin request group. Sysadmin request group will assign to sysadmin responsibility only, right? That's it. That means why that is available from there only, what that point you have to understand. That's what I am asking this question. Okay, why that is not available from HRMS? Why that is not available from GL? Why? That request is not part of these application related request groups. That is part of only that. If you want to add, you can add to these also. Anyway, that will be discussed in detail level. Already we have seen, right, how to open the menu request group, and we've gone through that, right? But in further sessions, we'll be learning how to create own custom menus, custom request groups. At the time, you can understand how to select this also into some other also. We'll see that. But by default, this will be available in the sysadmin. When you're working real time also in the fresh environment, you'll be finding this program as a part of sysadmin responsibility only. That means that is a part of sysadmin request group. That's all. So now switch to sysadmin. So from where we can submit the request? Tell me the name. Yeah, I'm not asking navigation. From where? That's it. SRS window. That is a term you should get ready. Okay. So from SRS window you can submit any program or request. Okay. Okay. Fine. So this is SRS. The same navigation. View request. Fine. Then click on submit a new request. Then say okay. Take all the points. Submit a new request and click on OK. What's the program name? Run replicate C data or not? I just mentioned that to do it. The actual program name is replicate C data. So that's what, just try to realize certain points also. See, earlier what happened is I was searching, right, what is responsible for how to assign operating into responsibility. How to assign operating to responsibility? By using MO operating at profile option. So this is the name. Okay, MO operating profile option. What I did is in the class, instead of typing this name in the profile field, when I was showing this assignment, I search it like this. Instead of writing a search, if you search also it will display the name. We conducted an exam for that batch. In the exam, what are the profile options required when you are setting multi-arc? That guy written not like this. This profile option is required, he written. Of course, later he got job also, but this is how he written. But try to understand the reality. It's not like I'm typing means that is not the name, right? Actual name we discussed. But instead of giving the full name in the system to find out the name, we can search with the short name. I was searching like this with the short name, but the guy written the names like this. MO operating unit. I was searching like this. That is the reason I stopped searching in that way. Okay, MO security. These are the profile options name. Okay, so that is the reason. Don't say if I ask what is request group, run replicate seed data. That is not request group. Request group. Program name is replicate seed data. That's all. Okay, here system is asking you want to run it for which operating net. If you select any one of the operating, that operating belongs to so and so multi-org, so it will be running for entire multi-org. But you can, without selecting operating, you can run it. If you run this, it will take more time because it will run this program for all the multi-orgs which are available in our system. Better you can give your operating net. So give it. But if you have 10 operating units, you don't need to run for 10 one by one. If you run for one, that would be enough. Okay, you don't need to run for each and every operating net. That's all. This we call as parameter. Simple point. Remember, when you are running the replicate seed data program, what is a parameter we have to specify? What is the parameter? Operating date. That's all. That means now we are giving instruction to the system saying that you run this replicates the data program for only this operating related multi-org. That's it. This OU is belongs to so and so multi-org, right? For that entire multi-org. That's all. Say okay. Say submit. Click on no. Done. Okay. So after running this, okay, we completed multi-org creation. Now we have an option to go and verify whatever the multi-org we created that is properly completed or something went wrong and all, we can go and verify. Okay, whether our multi-org whatever we created that is properly configured or not, you can go and check it. But since this is a test environment, with an instance, we have to definitely go and check. But when you are working in real time, okay, that is also it's recommended to check, but generally not required. There won't be any sample data and all. Whatever you create, that would be the first and maybe final sometimes. That is the reason it's not that much mandatory. There generally things will be work fine. Since this is a kind of testing environment, Vision instance, it's always recommended to go and check it, so that then from once you get confirmation, yes, your multi-org is properly configured, then you can start working on the setup part. You can start working on setup part. So from where we can go and check our multi-org is correct or not. So that you can check from purchasing, you can check from payables, we can check. You tell me from where we will go and check. Tell me any one of the names. Payables, we'll go with the payables reason that is our area. So that's okay, fine. Let's go to payables responsibility to check our multi-org is correct or not. Switch to payables responsibility. Okay, switch to payables responsibility. Take the navigation. What we are going to do, we are going to verify, we are going to check our multi-org definition is properly configured or not. To check it, take the navigation. You may take the task name as check multi-org configuration. Navigation is set up from payables. From payables, navigation is set up, options, okay, again we'll be working on this when we are working on payables application, when we will be doing all those things, but just now we are going to verify. Okay, so setup, options, financials options, financials options. Okay, setup, options, financials options. Okay, So here we have a different tabs. What are those? Accounting, supplier purchasing, encumbrance, tax, and human resources. Out of this, just this is a tab which we have to focus. Here, if you select human resources tab, under that human resources tab, if you find your business group name, that means your multi-org is correct. If you find some other business group, you can start from beginning. Okay, just follow the same sequence. Whatever discussed, definitely will be getting here. Okay, just select tab called as human resources. There, see, verify which business group you can say. Our business group. Our business group. Here you can see employee number. We selected automatic at where? Where we given the employee number generation as automatic.
Business group.
Business group info. Business group information. In business group information, we given employee number generation should be automatic. So same within this, for this business group only we given automatic, right? So that is the system is displaying here. Employee number generation is method is automatic. The next automatic number would be 1. Okay, 1. If you want to, just since this is beginning and all, you can, if you want to change, you can change. If company wants to start the numbering from 1001, here you can change it, but normally they'll follow the standard sequence. Okay, that's what they'll be giving, or else they have their internal numbering something like that they'll be giving. So the next number, the first employee number would be 10,001. That's how it will generate, but no need to change now. Accept the same. Okay, so this is how we can verify. Okay, so this is how we can verify. Fine. So this is all about how to verify the multi-org configuration. Fine, done. We're done with the multi-org setups. The first step is multi-org need to be defined in the system. After that, what we have to do? Next, we have to complete the module specific setups, application specific setups. Now, majorly we have to focus on financial application, right? Even if we have to work on financial certain these things, we have to understand how to create the multi-org first. Within that environment only will be working. Okay, many times when you are working as a consultant, there definitely there will be need of creating the multi-org from your end. So that is the reason these all points we have to understand. Once we're done with that multi-org creation, what we have to do is we have to do the setups. Okay, first we'll be focusing on P2P process related. Okay, later we'll discuss about O2C, then we'll talk about AR and all. Now our target is we want to work on payables. To work on payables, payables always will have a communication with. Please, quick answer is important. You are answering after some time and all purchasing. This is very close interaction, right? So purchasing will have interaction with inventory. Okay, or HRMS will have interaction with all application related to employees. That is the reason now what we'll do is first we'll do the setups for HRMS. We'll do the whatever the basic setups required from HRMS so that we can start using the employees from HRMS. After HRMS, we'll do the setups for inventory. We'll do what are the setups required for inventory. After inventory, we do the setups for purchasing. Okay, so once you do the basic setups, we are not going to do the detailed setups how we'll be doing for our financial applications. So our basic learning of this HRMS basic things and the inventory purchasing, we'll do very basic setups. Then based on that, you can understand the complete process of P2P cycle. Okay, we'll do the HRMS basic setups and inventory basic setups and do purchasing basic setups. Okay. Now when you talk about basic setups for HRMS, so very few and very simple that we'll discuss now. So there will be a number of setups related to HRMS for whom are implementing HRMS, but we are not going to implement. To support our financial process flow, few setups are enough for us to run our financial application. That is the reason we have to do very basic setups. So say setups, you can call it as basic setups. Basic setups which will support our P2P cycle. Okay, done. When I talk about HRMS basic setups and all, what is the purpose of HRMS? Employees will be maintaining the employees. So every employee will have some job or position that depending on organization, whether they are giving more importance to job in the organization or importance to position based. Normally government organization and all employees will be staying for long period and all. They'll go with the approach of position. But IT organization they'll go with the job. The employee will come today and tomorrow they can quit from the company, right? So that is the reason some job they'll be giving accordingly. People will be working that depending on the industry and all. They'll be following job or position, some grade, etc., etc. But for us now, it's not required those points detail level. Okay, here what we'll be understanding is we'll understand how to create the job. Okay, first what we'll do, we'll create the job, then we'll create the position. Okay, and we'll assign. Take here only because as a part of the position definition only we'll do it. So create job and do create position and say assign job to position. I'll take simple example. Job I'll take as a buyer. Job name is buyer. Means what do you mean by job? Job means nothing but what the person, what the employee is doing. What employee is doing, that is nothing but job of the employee. If there is some job in the company, then only they'll recruit the people, right? The same work they will be assigning. The work for this employee is buyer. Buying. They'll be the employee will be involving in the purchases, buying. So, but based on the employee whom you are taking, definitely we have to give some job based on his experience, right? Based on some experience or qualification or etc. By following some other parameters, definitely we have to designate. Okay, so we have to designate with the some position, right? So job may be buyer, but position may be manager. Okay, this is how you can take. Okay, or else job may be manager, position may be purchasing manager. That's how. That's a different. Okay, but let's understand in a very simple way. Okay, job is buyer job, and the position is manager. That means with the manager position, the person will be performing the purchase related activities where the employee will be acting as a buyer. So now we'll create the job as a buyer and we'll create the position. Okay, buyer position person. Okay, sorry, the position manager position person. What he will be doing? Purchases. Okay, that's what we have to specify. Nothing but assign job to position. Instead of writing manager, I'm just let me go in this way. I'll just take it as a purchasing manager, some bit detailed. Okay, because this why I'm taking buyer and purchasing, we'll be using this in the purchasing process. We require in our process to execute certain concepts. That's the reason I'm taking. Okay, this is how we'll create the job and we'll create the buyer. Okay, we have one job called as buyer and position called as purchasing manager. There should be some person, right? Without people, if you have jobs and positions, who will be having that to whom you will assign that job and who will be acting with that position? No one, right? So employees are important. So now what we have to do is we have to create employee. After creating employee, we have to assign job and position to employee, right? The same we have to do. Say assign job and position to employee. If you understand here one point, job you are assigning to job you are assigning to position. If you assign position to employee, that would be enough, right? Already job is assigned to position we are assigning to employee, means along with the position job also will come to the employee. That generally that's how we'll be doing, but just for understanding I'm giving these points like this. We'll be doing that. Okay, so that's all. This information, this kind of setups are more than enough for us. Apart from this, in HRMS only we created business group, operating unit, inventory organization, locations and all we created. But those all we created as a part of multi-org. After completing the basic multi-org configuration, these setups we are going to do in the HRMS only, but which are module specific setups, which are very basic setups. When HRMS consultants are doing the implementations and all, apart from that business group, they will be creating the HR organizations. They will be creating the HR organizations, under which organizations which employees will be working. They will be doing many other setups also. But those are all not required for us, since we are not going to work on HRMS as a HRMS consultant. Okay, this information is enough. Okay, from HRMS, these are the setups we are going to complete. Okay, I'll just list out the setups, then we'll start and we'll be doing one by one. Okay, done. These are the setups. When I talk about inventory setups, again, when we are doing again, if whatever the level of understanding required, we'll discuss and we'll do it. For now, let me just list out all this so that we'll get some idea, understanding from which application, which setups we have to do. Then we'll be fairly knowing what we are going to do, which setups we are going to do in the system. So here I'll name it as here I'll say inventory basic setups. Inventory related already we just created my item master, right? Okay, here say I'll be just, when we are doing the setups, I'll be adding few more points. Specific those I'm not writing here, but setups point of view, these points you can understand. That would be enough. There will be some few other specifications which we have to discuss. That will do it. So when I talk about inventory basic setups, you have to first create workday calendar. So create workday calendar. And say create okay, so say create actual inventory. Create actual inventory. I'll be adding one more point. Let's proceed in this one. Create actual inventory, and then say setup inventory information and receiving. Let's take a separate point. Setup inventory information and setup receiving options. Let's say this, you can see the name as informational options. Okay, first we have to create the, I'll explain you detail level. What is the purpose of workday calendar, actual inventory? Just the actual inventory we discussed. What is the purpose of these options, information options? Everything we'll discuss detail level. Then on we'll be doing in the system. But as of now, just take all the sequence of setups. Okay. First we'll create workday calendar, then actual inventory, then inventory information and receiving information or receiving options. Okay, done. The next. Okay, just give me 1 second. Seems to some issue with this. One second. Okay, fine. Okay, I think we are fine. So after this, what we have to do is, after defining this, once we're done with that, inventory information, receiving information. Once we're done with that, we can say create sub inventory. So we'll create the sub inventory. Okay, we'll be creating the sub inventory. Then we'll create items. We'll assign item to actual inventory. Then we open inventory periods. That's all. Okay. So first we'll create a workday calendar. Then we have to create the actual inventory. Then we'll set up the inventory information to receiving information or receiving options. We'll create the sub inventory. Within this actual inventory. Okay, and we'll create the items and we'll assign those items to actual inventories. We'll open the inventory periods, then we can record the inventory related transaction. That anyway we will see, that's a different one. We are talking about only setups. So here we'll create employee. You can add one more point that anyway we'll be doing, but just add it. Assign employee to user. Okay, for now we'll take this point down that we'll be discussing. They are the basic inventory related setups. Okay, we'll discuss everything detail level. When we are starting with this purchasing, once again I'll take you through. We discuss, right? We have a structure, job flex will structure, position flex will structures. We'll open and we'll see, we'll discuss, and then only we'll be proceeding. Here also we'll discuss certain points and we'll proceed. Okay, here we have one more point. See here, we are setting inventory information, receiving information, right? The inventory information, receiving information always will be setting for inventory. This is actual inventory. In the same way, we have a item master, right? For item master also we have to set, but not both. Which we have to set, that we'll be discussing when we are doing the setups in the system. Okay, these setups we have to do for inventory, and we'll see what setups we have to do for purchasing application. Purchasing basic setups. Say configure, or say setup or configure. Okay, say configure financials options, configure purchasing options, create buyer. I'll say simple, create employee as buyer. Just employee will be having an HRMS, right? That employee will be acting as a buyer in the process of purchasing. That's how we have to specify. Simple point, just will be adding that employee in the buyer's list. That only we call as create employee as a buyer. Then say setup approvals. There are few steps within that I will be discussing. Okay, first we'll create the approval group, then we'll do the approval assignments. Also, let me list out here the point also. Approval groups, as a part of approval setup, we'll do the approval groups and we'll do the approval assignments. Okay, set of approvals. As a part of approvals, we'll be doing two tasks: approval groups definition and approval assignments. So when we talk about approvals, we have a different type of approvals that also we'll be discussing. We have a employee supervisor approval hierarchy and a position approval hierarchy. What exactly this we'll be discussing. But in our practice and all in our testing, we'll go with any one of them because we never deal with those approvals. But for our learning point of view, we'll be using one to implement here. Okay. So we'll do all these setups. Then say we'll open purchasing periods. These setups are enough to run through the process of creating the requisition, purchase orders, receipts, which we can do within the purchasing. All can be handled. Purchase returns we can do, and based on purchasing we can create the invoice and payables automatically. All the setup, all those processes can be supported by with these few setups. Enough. So this is what we are going to do the setups from this respective application. Once we're done with all the setups, before doing these three application specific setups, we'll discuss retail level and we'll do the setups. Once we're done with the setups, then this part will be ready. Now then we can start getting into our core area of financials. After completing this, will just move to the payables. In payables theoretically I'll be explaining each and everything, how the business process, okay, and what are the various type of invoices we have, various type of payments we have, payment types we have, and all we'll be discussing. And then we can talk about setups and what is the purpose of each and every setup, how that will be controlled in the system process, etc. Everything we'll discuss. Then we can start working on the payables. After first we'll start with the payables. Later, based on these setups, we'll run through the process called as P2P cycle. Okay, so all the complete process we can see. Okay, so these are the purchasing basic setups. Here I am not mentioning the supplier creation. Reason, our area is financials. That is the reason supplier can be created from or purchasing or payables. Order management. Why? Who is order management? Who is supplier? Okay, from payables. Payables only will be dealing with the supplier invoice, right? That's it. Or else you can add here. But reality, what happens is supplier maintenance will be done by purchasing department only. See, payables not. Purchasing, first of all, they have to interact with the supplier. They have to just get the quotations and all this the tasks they have to do it, right? Purchase order will be raised by purchasing department only. So purchasing will take care of the supplier maintenance and all. Vendor master or supplier master will be calling. Okay, that they will be taking care of. But we have an option to create the supplier from payables also, but reality supplier will be created from purchasing. To create the supplier, same feature they given from payables as well as purchasing. Okay, but when you are working in the real time environment and all, generally suppliers will be created from purchasing. Some companies you may see payables department only will be handling that process also, but primarily purchasing. If you want to understand that, just we can add it. What we'll do is, from purchasing we'll create one supplier, from payables also we'll create one more supplier. Anyway, let's have two suppliers. We have a different scenarios to test where we need minimum two suppliers also. For that reason, just let's make it. So once we're done with that, from here only let's create the supplier. I'll give the name as create, task name as create supplier, and sites nothing but addresses, because we can take any supplier. The supplier will be having a many location presence, right? Sites nothing but addresses where they are operating their businesses. What are the site purposes? We have some points to discuss, that also will be discussing before we create the supplier. For every setup there is some meaning why we'll be doing. Okay, we'll be making the system to understand in such a way how it has to behave when we are doing some transaction process. It's all about, if you are doing some setups, you are interacting, you are informing to the system how it should work. You are creating the environment, you are setting certain rules within the system, how system has to behave when we are recording the some business transactions. We'll discuss detail level those points also. So these are the setups are pending. Once we're done with these setups, directly we can switch into our financial area. We'll start with the payables application. Okay, these are very much important. You should remember, and you have to practice also. Okay, done. Maybe these setups we'll do from the next session. Okay, fine. That's all for today. Okay, we'll see in the next session.